I wonder if I could make an entire video about this one tiny teaser. 01 never ends, or I want that to be true. So first things first, Jin is outside. I know, you're lucky I'm here to make it down for you. Jin is outside and someone says, "I'm here to retrieve you." And I don't know who that is, but it sounds like Yotagaki to me. And my friend also thinks that. So who knows? Until we get a full entire cast list. We don't know, but that's what it sounds like to me. Of course, audio and visual on a teaser doesn't necessarily happen like that. Audio and the visual in a teaser doesn't happen like that necessarily in the film. It isn't necessarily that whoever is saying that to Jin in that scene. They may very well have taken the audio from one bit and pasted it onto the visual. But still, the fact that they're showing Jin, we're obviously going to assume the premise of this film is that someone is here to retrieve Jin. I'm well aware that you can't assume that the audio being said over a clip. I'm well aware that you can't assume the audio you're hearing is actually being said over the clip that you're seeing. But even if these are two completely different scenes meshed into one, it's obviously someone is coming to retrieve Jin. Sounds like Yotagaki, and that makes sense, given that Jin was revived to revive the Ark and kill Horobi, right? And he hasn't exactly done that, because Yotagaki still wanted Horobi dead after the Ark was destroyed, and Jin did the exact opposite. So it makes sense that now Yotagaki is coming after him because he's not needed anymore. Then we get to Kazuchi reacting to something bad, wearing his Maxwell Jin-like clothes that we did not see enough of, and I'm so happy. Then we get Naki reacting to something equally as bad, but they're wearing their new suit, because their Metsubo Jinai outfit is a white shirt, but their new attire is a black shirt. So whatever happens, they hear about it, so they specifically change into their Metsubo Jinai clothes. Then we get Horobi looking like he's about to go after someone. He's not happy to be here at all, which makes so much sense if the premise is that someone is here to retrieve Jin. After the big dramatic title reveal, we get all four of them standing together. Oh, so cool. And there were boxes behind them that say Zaya, which if Yotagaki was the person who spoke, that makes sense. And Jin has a purple key chained to his wrist, with his Burning Falcon one on the other, which I assume to be the Metsubo Jinai key, which is advertised, which is advertised at the end. And okay, I don't know how best to say this, but I hope this isn't just a Jin V Cinema featuring Horobi, Naki and Kazuchi. Just that Jin easily had the most to do in this series. He actually did stuff. None of us were sitting around waiting for Jin to finally get screen time. Horobi just hung around until the writers remembered he was there, and we had to wait for most of the series to get to Kazuchi and Naki. So out of the four of them, we've really barely seen three. So I just hope we don't get most primarily of Jin and no one else. I just hope they all get to do stuff, and they all get time in this. And it isn't just something happens to Jin and everybody else reacts to the thing that's happening to Jin, which I don't actively think it's going to be, but that's always going to be worrying until I actually see it, or hear from someone who has. That'll happen first. Horobi then draws his katana and says this is a holy war. Kori wa seisenda, like he does at the beginning. And if there's one thing that will draw Horobi back to fighting again, it's getting back his son. Obviously a lot of symbolism behind Horobi saying that with the light shining directly behind him. Also, are they seriously making poor Nagaya just carry that around with him the entire time? He had a place to put that in his old outfit, that's not practical. Anyway, as more stuff comes to light, I'll certainly be making more in-depth videos about this. You know, that I actually plan and don't just sit down and awkwardly watch the thing and then look back, and this is probably full of cuts just where I prematurely start talking. It's going to be cut after cut of me just being like... Anyway, I can't wait. Why do hotels always have to have so many mirrors? Why do they always have to have mirrors directly next to the bed?